What's up, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode on the DamiGlow Show. My name is DamiGlow. Welcome, Sharon. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Let's not. Do you want me to talk about?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Let's keep it
private.
All right. Okay. So can you do a brief introduction about yourself?
It's always hard to actually introduce myself. So my name is Sharon. I'm a full-time entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a branding and marketing strategist. So yeah, I'm a child of God as well.
You have money. Sorry.
Amen.
Okay. Can you describe your love life in one word?
I'll say interesting.
Tell us more.
Interesting. Is there one word actually?
Okay,
one word interesting.
One word interesting. So our love life is interesting. So
yeah, very interesting.
It's good. Okay, next question.
Mm-hmm.
Describe your journey with God in one word.
My journey with God in one word.
How's it been?
I'll say no. I can't do one word. I'll do two words. I'll say ever evolving.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
I love it.
Ever evolving. That's what I would say.
I sincerely love it, and I think that's what people should.
Yeah, you keep
look
growing.
Forward to. Like, you keep growing. You don't just know God and then you
exactly.
stop. You keep getting better. Okay, so now to the main questions. Right. My first question is: as a single woman, what are your biggest challenges? The biggest challenges you faced in dating and also building your relationship. You're in a relationship, right? Okay. So what challenges have you faced or are you facing as a person that is in a relationship, right? And also building
my business as well. I don't think I face any challenges actually. I'm not sure I fully understand the question though.
Maybe I should explain better.
Yes, please.
Okay. So now, the biggest challenges you face in dating. So now you're in a relationship and then you're trying to build your career.
As well, yes.
Some people, they be like, okay, they're in a relationship. Should they focus on the relationship and just keep God by the side? Or, well, God is the most important. Yes, God is the most important, and they really don't give too much or put life or put work into the relationship. Right? So for you, how are you able to do that? Do you face any challenge or challenges rather when you do both?
Navigating the two of them in a career relationship. No, I wouldn't say I don't face any challenge actually. I think it's really just learning how to allocate your time per season. Right. So there are times when business is very, very intense, and obviously you have to communicate to your partner that this time is business is very intense. We probably cannot talk as much or spend as much time. There are times when family again calls and you have to pause business and all of that. So I think it's just time management and understanding seasons, right? People always talk about balance basically, like how do you balance this, and it's like balance is a mirage. It doesn't exist. Balance is finding what is important per time and focusing on that, and then you keep going like that basically.
I like that. I like it. I like the fact that you get to balance. Try to walk your way through both. Nice. Okay, so my next question: what quality do you look for in a future spouse, and how does your faith influence that choice?
Qualities in a future spouse, and how does faith influence that choice? How does faith influence?
Well, nowadays some people be like, tall, dark, and handsome. That's what they desire.
So
fine.
First of all, I'm a preacher of. I am not obsessed with physical attributes.
Okay.
Sometimes people think that what I mean when I say that is that marry anybody. It doesn't matter how the man looks or how the girl looks. But that's not what I'm saying. Obviously, be attracted to who you want to date or who you want to marry. But I feel like on the grand scheme of things, like long term, tall, dark, and handsome does not do anything for you in the grand scheme of things. So
in between,
to me, it doesn't actually, because to me, it doesn't matter, to be honest. I've never been, okay, I have made a mistake of putting physical attributes first.
Yeah.
And I got burnt, and I learned my lesson. So moving forward.
I like it.
Moving forward, as long as you're taller than me, that's what please, I'm very, very, as long as you're taller than me, that's all that matters. I'm not really concerned about, fair, dark, all of that. But as to my faith,
Right.
again, I think it's a very broad question, because I find that with Christian women, Christian young women, and me myself as I've made a mistake where, we love God so much, and we want to obviously end up with somebody who loves God as well.
Right.
So sometimes we get carried away with theatrics. And by theatrics, I mean things like, he's a brother in church, he's a leader.
Right.
Or he's a worker. And you automatically think that because he's a worker in church, he will be it. And a lot of times, that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
So that's why I say the question is very broad, where yes, God is important, priority, right? But sometimes we tend to I don't choose the word over spiritualize our marital journey, where we begin to. I saw a video a few days ago. I think it was Pastor Irene saying that people pick spouses like they're picking church, like they're trying to build a church. So they're saying, does he pray? Can he pray or can he preach like my pastor? And it's like,
no,
you don't necessarily need that.
Right, right.
I think what's important is he sold out to God? Does he have a walk with God?
Right.
Every other thing would fall in place, right? So yeah, in terms of how faith influences my relationship decisions, I always look for somebody who actually has a walk with God, who cares about God. And then there are other things as well that are very, very important to me as well. Things like emotional intelligence, things like overall maturity, because I think I can come off as, not sometimes, I think I'm actually an intense person in terms of like.
I like that because some people don't know.
Oh no, yeah, you have to know, because that determines who you pick, really. So yeah, I think I'm very intense. I'm very career oriented. So I always knew right from time that I had to pick somebody who had the strength to carry that and push that, and who is not necessarily intimidated by so. So yeah, that's really just what it is for me.
I think that's great. Okay, so to my next question, how do you set boundaries in dating while maintaining your Christian values? Now, before you answer, why are you doing your face like that? Before you answer that question, there are some singles nowadays, they don't care about boundaries. So far, they know that, we are already dating now. This person has gone to my mom, or this person is my family, and then we are just dating. We can do anything we desire. We marry, people already know us, right? And people don't set boundaries to their relationship, right? So how do you set boundaries?
Yes, I set boundaries.
Okay.
Yes, I do. How do I set boundaries? I don't think there's a how. I think the question is what boundaries.
Okay, yeah, what boundaries
do you set? Particularly one of the boundaries that I set in my relationship that really helped me or helped us is I want to give a backstory as to why we had to do that. So my partner and I, we don't do house visits. So this whole come to the house, come and see me, come and spend time, come and spend the night.
You can get carried away.
You're not spending the night, not want to visit anybody in the house. Anything we have to see outside, right? And
sorry to cut you short, because some people think they can handle it. You really cannot handle it, because this flesh, you think that when we come, we just touch and kiss and it's okay, but
even the touching and kissing is not actually
it's a lot. You really cannot handle it. So even scripture saying we should flee.
Yeah, and
so I really like that you don't even entertain going to each other's houses.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think aside the fact that I think it's very, very it's something that I think sexual sin is the only sin that the scripture actually tells you to explicitly flee from. It doesn't tell you to pray, doesn't tell you to fast, doesn't tell you to declare scriptures. It clearly says flee, right? That's one. I also think that sometimes people overestimate themselves, right? And it's just no point of let me just go and show that I'm a strong girl, I'm a strong guy. I'm not strong, please. I'm not strong.
Run away.
Just run away. Avoid it, right? And also, it's a place of patience as well. Where it's like eventually, hopefully, you get married.
Delayed
You have
gratification. People
you
don't
have the
really
entire
do
time.
that.
Yeah. So there's no.
People, you should practice delayed gratification.
It's hard.
because
I mean, sometimes yes, it can be hard, but at the
you
end of the day, it's like
eventually
eventually you get to enjoy that. I
everything.
mean, so what's the point of?
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. What advice would you give to other Christian women who are pursuing both business success and a godly relationship?
What advice would I give? Do I actually have an advice to give anybody?
You have an advice to give. You've learned
Pursuing
something.
a godly relationship and business success. I would say just put God in the middle of everything. And I know it sounds very cliche. Just put God in the middle, but actually that's what it is. God is concerned about every single part of your life. Right. From your career success, your financial state, your relationships, everything. And you'll be surprised how that God is. Yesterday I was journaling and I was coming out from a dry season and I just typed, I was like, hi Jesus.
I like it.
God, you could be surprised as to how concerned God is about the tiniest
littlest thing.
details of your life if you'd only bring him into it and tell him all of those details. And he would literally help you, right? So I think primary thing I would say is put God in the middle of everything and it would go well.
Okay. So second to last question. If you could go back in time, what would you tell your younger self about faith, love, and building a successful career?
Faith, love, building a successful career.
Yes.
I would say, as to faith and love, I would say it gets better with time.
Nice.
It gets better with time. Don't put yourself under pressure, right? It gets better with time because I know one of the mistakes I made when I gave my life to Christ a few years ago was, you're looking at, sometimes I'll look at people who had been working with God for a longer period of time, 20 years, and I'm like, these people, and then I used to beat myself a lot, like, how have I not gotten to this level yet? And it's like, there are some things that it's funny how I've figured out yesterday that it was 2 years. I've been working with God for like 6 years now. It was like last year I really understood the idea of God's love. Like, people say, oh, God loves you, and always when you make a mistake, always run back to God. And we say these things, but it was last year I believe practically understood that I could always turn back, right? And God loved me more than anybody can ever love me, right? It took 5 years of my work with God to get to really understand it, and I can't even explain it. But basically, it does get better with time. And as to career, whatever, I would say, get comfortable with failing, because sometimes. I think one lesson I'm learning now is that how you are counting numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to go through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 before you get to 10. So you on your journey to building a career, building a business, there'll be times when you fail. You have to. It's inevitable. So the idea is, okay, I failed, I made a mistake. How can I learn from it and keep moving? But the idea of, oh, I made a mistake or I failed, and then you're comparing yourself to people that have done 10 years, 15 years in business. They also had their seasons where they failed and made most mistakes they probably made, right? So get comfortable with failing. It's not personal. Fail and move on and keep it moving, and it just gets better, really. So I think that's.
I really like what you said because I experience it too. Sometimes you will see people who have grown in their Christian walk with God, and then they just tell you that, oh, I have a discerning spirit. I wanted to do this thing, and God spoke to me, and then I didn't do it. You desire it, like, oh my God, when am I going to get here? When is God going to be speaking with me? Like God is speaking to this man, right? And I like that. It takes time. As you do it, is a daily thing.
It's like a daily
as
walk,
you pursue your walk with God, you pursue God, it gets better. You experience Him more. And I really love that. Yeah,
you also get life experiences
that's only you. There's some things that I've experienced in my journey with God that no pastor would have preached that to me. Or nobody could have told me that God really showed Himself in my life. That, okay, God, there was a time that I was praying about something and it was funny. The fan was blowing and my Bible was on a chair, right? And I was just praying that God, just give me a sign, just tell me something about the situation. And then the fan blew my Bible to a particular place.
Are you serious?
I did not even know. It was as though I was compelled. Like, I went to the Bible and I saw that I'd already even underlined that part. Like, I've read it before. And I underlined that part and I reread it, and it was the answer to what I was asking God for. Now, if someone should tell me that, oh, God is going to, I experienced it myself. And that's like a thing with me and God. Like, God really spoke to me in this
that
season.
moment, and you never forget it.
I can never forget it. So yeah, I really like that. Okay, our final question. Okay. So based off of what you've seen about marriage and what you've heard, do you think marriage is hard?
Yeah, I think so.
You think marriage is hard?
Absolutely. I think marriage is hard, actually. So two things. I mean, there are a couple of things, but things I can remember off the top of my head is, first of all, learning that love is not enough to sustain a marriage or a relationship. You have to do a lot. It takes love is a lot of work. Actually, because I think aside close-knit family, sibling relationship, I think marriage and love is one thing that brings you to bear with yourself. Right, you know, sometimes you think that you're a very nice person, like, hey, I'm very kind, I'm very understanding.
Yes,
and then once your relationship, I realize I got issues.
Like, I'm not patient too.
You know, all that.
How did I respond to him like that?
Or that you have past traumas or something. That's what they're reacting to your partner. Like, it's not you're not reacting to what your partner did. You're reacting to something that your ex-boyfriend did that you think that your partner is doing.
Right.
You know, so you have to, it forces you to learn yourself, work on yourself, and also, you know, somebody else. Right. That's one. To also knowing that people change, people evolve. There's also the fear, personally, a fear of, you know, I don't know why you're going to change it. I can be nice now, we can tomorrow.
I can relate to that.
You know, I think something that's helped me with that fear is deliberately avoiding negative news about marriage and relationships. I think that the media now does a lot of bad work in that. And I realize that you just have fears that you picked up on one Twitter thread, not even your life experience, your parents. You just feel like, you know, because everybody says, oh, men has come, women are this, and you just really think that men has come, and it's like, I picked this thing from Twitter.
It's not as if this man is really doing
you
this
know,
thing to me.
So there's a fear of people changing. There is knowing that marriage requires a lot of work, you know, and then what if you don't want to do it? What if you just don't feel like it? Because every time you don't feel like it. Yeah. So yeah, I do think that marriage is hard, but when we get there, we'll cross it.
Okay. Another thing that can help is that, when you get into it, you better understand, right? Personally, I don't think marriage is hard. Right?
You don't?
I don't think marriage is hard, because as you grow, you become better. As you grow together, you live together, you become better. And then that changing part, you get to talk about it. Like, okay, I'm sensing this kind of trait, right? So what people are afraid of is that, okay, this person has changed to this kind of thing, and then you're afraid to talk about it, or you're afraid to really face it. Whereas you're supposed to talk about it. And people don't like to communicate nowadays. You just like keep it, and then you're keeping it, you are resenting him or resenting her, right? So that's it.
Because we leave you keep going on.
That's it. Okay, so that's the end of our questions, and now we're going to move on to the game segment. Okay. We have two games. Where are my games? Okay, thank you. So the first one is the quick relationship questions. You have 60 seconds to answer a question, right? You have to answer instantly. Don't think about it. And the second one is a tongue twister, but I named it the Love Twister Challenge. Okay. So you pick 5 and then you say it as over as over. So which one are you going for?
The relationship quick question. Yeah.
Quick question.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the quick relationship questions.
How many do I get to pick? Just one.
Because of our time, maybe we should just pick 3.
Oh my God, that's a lot of questions.
No, it's quick and fast. Is that 3?
Yes.
Okay, let me have them.
My goodness.
Okay. 2 things married couples should always do.
I don't know. I'm not married though, please. I won't take no.
Okay, 2 things people in relationships should do. Should always do. Since you're in a relationship.
Should always do.
2 things people in relationships should always do.
Always do. Communicate, and seek counseling early. Read books early. It's never too early to, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Give a relationship advice in just 3 words.
Not be anybody as yourself.
What? I said 3 words. That's a sentence.
Please, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have
You know
3 words.
Okay.
I don't know.
You between you and your partner, who apologizes first after a fight? Hey,
I actually don't know.
you don't know who apologizes.
I think he does it first. I think most times, he
does
most
it.
times he apologizes first.
Okay. So that's it. Thank you for coming on the show, Sharon. I'm really glad we did this.
Thank you
and
too.
I had so much fun.
Same
I hope you
here.
guys had fun and you learned so much from Sharon. Okay, so before we go, I'd like to talk about Fight Like a Winner. It's still selling on Seller and on Amazon. Fight Like a Winner is a book on conflict resolution. It's going to help you on how to resolve conflict with your spouse, or even if you're in a relationship and conflict is inevitable, but you just have to know how to tackle it together. So yeah, it's selling on Seller and Amazon, and a WhatsApp number if you want to add copies. There's a WhatsApp number in the description box. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's video, and remember that it is God's will for you to enjoy your marriage. I'll see you in my next video.